Welcome to the Airbnb Superhost Secrets podcast, where we dive deep into the art and science of becoming a top-rated host. Today, we're tackling a question that's probably crossed every host's mind. Does bed size really matter?
It's a hot topic for sure, and honestly, it's more nuanced than you might think.
Okay, unpack that for us. I've seen some hosts swear by king-size beds, but others say it's not the be-all and end-all.
Exactly. The key takeaway here is that the perfect bed size isn't universal. It depends on your target guest, your property, your budget, even your laundry setup.
That's interesting. I saw one host on Instagram advocating for king-size beds in every Airbnb if space allows. But then another host chimed in saying they keep all their beds queen-size to simplify their linen situation.
Smart move. That brings up a crucial point. Managing guest expectations. If you clearly state your bed size in your listing description and photos, guests know exactly what they're getting. Fewer surprises, fewer complaints.
So being upfront is better than trying to squeeze in a king-size bed where it doesn't really fit.
Absolutely. And think about this. A queen-size bed in the US is considered a king-size in the UK. If you're attracting international guests, using clear, consistent language is essential.
So true. But sometimes I wonder if we get too fixated on bed size and overlook other aspects of the guest experience. One host told a story about how their guests were so charmed by the cozy fireplace, they almost didn't realize the beds were singles.
That's a perfect illustration of how catering to a specific niche can outweigh bed size. Imagine you market your listing to solo travelers or budget-conscious couples. A smaller bed might not even be a factor if you nail other aspects like ambiance and amenities.
I like that. It's about creating an experience, not just ticking off a box on bed size.
Precisely. And remember, a comfortable, high-quality mattress can make a world of difference even if the bed itself isn't huge. Some hosts prioritize investing in top-notch mattresses, and their guests consistently rave about how well they sleep.
Makes sense. You could have a giant bed, but if the mattress is lumpy, who cares? But for hosts on a tighter budget, a smaller bed with a great mattress might be the sweet spot.
Exactly. Now let's flip the script and think about the practical side for hosts. Larger bedding can be a real pain to launder, especially if you don't have industrial-sized machines. One host told me they practically had to wrestle their king-size comforter into the washer.
Oh, I can imagine. That's something to consider if you're juggling multiple listings or have limited laundry facilities.
Right, it's all about finding a balance. So even if you can't offer a king-size bed in every room, there are clever design tricks to make your space feel larger and more inviting. Think high ceilings, ample natural light.
I've even seen hosts use mirrors strategically to create the illusion of more space. It's all about playing with perception.
Exactly, and that's where we get to the fun part. Design strategies for different bed sizes.
Okay, let's dive into that in part 2.
So let's say you've got a room that's on the smaller side, but you still want to make that queen-size bed work. What can you do?
I'm all ears. Give us the design magic.
Well, first off, wall-mounted lamps instead of bedside tables. Bam. Instant space saver?
That's a good one. I've seen some really stylish wall sconces that double as reading lights.
Exactly. And think vertical storage. Shelves above the bed. Maybe a slim wardrobe instead of a bulky dresser.
You're making me want to redecorate my own place.
It's inspiring. Another tip. Light, airy colors. Think whites, pastels, even a light gray. Dark colors can make a room feel smaller, even with a queen bed.
Oh yeah, that's a classic design trick.
Yeah.
And mirrors. Strategically placed mirrors can make a space feel twice as big.
Right. It's all about playing with those visual cues. Now, let's say you're lucky enough to have a larger room, and you're debating between a queen and a king.
Okay, I'm picturing a spacious room. What are the key considerations there?
Well, first think about your target guest. Are you catering to couples, families, or solo travelers? A king-size bed is definitely a luxurious perk for couples, especially honeymooners or those celebrating a special occasion.
Right, makes sense. But what if you want to appeal to a broader range of guests?
That's where flexibility comes in. Some hosts offer 2 twin beds that can be pushed together to create a king size. It's a win-win. Couples get the spacious bed, while solo travelers have the option of separate beds.
That's a clever idea. I've also seen hosts use a daybed or a pull-out sofa as a secondary sleeping option in larger rooms. It's great for accommodating families or groups of friends.
Exactly. It's about maximizing your space and providing options. And don't forget, even if you have a spacious room, a well-designed layout is crucial. You want to ensure there's enough space to move around comfortably, even with a larger bed.
Right, you don't want the bed to dominate the entire room.
Exactly. Think about furniture placement,
Right.
traffic flow, and creating distinct areas within the room.
So even if you have the square footage for a king-size bed, You need to consider how it fits within the overall flow and feel of the room.
Precisely. Now let's shift gears and talk about something that can often be overlooked: the importance of a high-quality mattress.
I know we touched on this earlier, but it's worth emphasizing. A comfortable mattress can truly make or break a guest experience.
You're absolutely right. Think about it this way. You could have the most spacious, beautifully designed room with a king-size bed, but if the mattress is lumpy and uncomfortable, your guests won't have a good night's sleep.
And a bad night's sleep can lead to a bad review.
Right, exactly. A comfortable mattress is an investment in your guests' well-being and ultimately your success as a host.
So what should hosts look for when choosing a mattress? What are the key features that make a difference?
Well, first off, consider the level of support. Some people prefer a firmer mattress, while others prefer something softer. It really depends on personal preference. But ideally, you want a mattress that provides good spinal alignment and relieves pressure points.
Makes sense. I know memory foam mattresses are popular these days. Are those a good option for Airbnb hosts?
They can be. Memory foam conforms to the body, which can provide excellent pressure relief and support. Plus, it tends to absorb movement, so it's a good choice if you have couples sharing a bed.
Good point. What about other types of mattresses? Are there any pros and cons to consider?
Sure, inner spring mattresses are a classic choice. They're usually more affordable than memory foam, and they offer good support and breathability. However, they can be less durable and might not provide the same level of pressure relief.
Interesting. So it sounds like there's no one-size-fits-all answer when it comes to mattresses either.
You're getting it. It really depends on your budget, the type of bed frame you have, and your target guest.
Okay. So let's say you've chosen the perfect mattress for your Airbnb. What else can you do to create a truly luxurious sleep experience?
That's where we move beyond the mattress itself and into the realm of bedding and linens. Think about it. Soft, high-quality sheets, fluffy pillows, a cozy duvet. These details can truly elevate the guest experience.
Right, it's those little touches that make a stay feel special.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to splurge a little on bedding. It's an investment that will pay off in the long run.
So what are your top tips for choosing the right bedding for an Airbnb?
Well, first off, opt for natural fibers like cotton or linen. They're breathable, durable, and feel great against the skin. Avoid synthetic fabrics like polyester as they can trap heat and feel less luxurious.
Good to know. And what about thread count? Is that something to consider?
Thread count can be an indicator of quality, but it's not the be-all and end-all. Focus on the feel of the fabric rather than just the thread count. And always wash your bedding before your guests arrive. Freshly laundered linens are essential for a welcoming and hygienic experience.
Absolutely. Those details really matter. Now, beyond the bedding itself, what else can hosts do to create a comfortable and inviting sleep space?
That's where we get to think about the ambiance of the room. Soft lighting, a calming color palette, maybe a diffuser with essential oils. These little touches can transform a bedroom from a simple place to sleep into a true sanctuary.
I love that. It's about creating a spa-like experience.
Exactly. And don't forget about those little extras that can go a long way in making your guests feel pampered. A comfy reading chair, a selection of books, maybe even a white noise machine for those who need extra help falling asleep.
Wow. You've really thought of everything. So it sounds like creating a comfortable and inviting sleep experience goes far beyond just the size of the bed. It's about the mattress, the bedding, the ambiance. It's about the entire package.
You've got it. It's about creating an environment where your guests can truly relax, unwind,
Yeah.
and get a good night's sleep. And that, my friend, is the foundation of a five-star Airbnb experience.
Well said. And speaking of five-star experiences, there's one more crucial element we haven't touched on yet: communication.
Ah, yes. The art of setting clear expectations and communicating effectively with your guests.
That sounds like a perfect topic to wrap up our discussion in part 3. So we've talked about design and mattresses and bedding and ambiance, but now it's time to talk about communication. How can hosts effectively communicate bed size and other sleep-related details to their guests?
It all starts with your listing description. Be upfront and specific about the bed size in each room. Don't just say queen bed. Say comfortable queen-size bed with memory foam mattress. Paint a picture with your words.
That's a great tip, and I've noticed that some hosts include the dimensions of the bed in the description as well. Is that helpful?
Absolutely. It eliminates any ambiguity, especially for guests who might be used to different bed size standards in their home country. And remember, visuals are just as important as words.
Right. Photos can really make or break a listing. So how can hosts use photos to showcase bed size effectively?
Use photos that show the bed in relation to the rest of the room. A wide-angle shot can help guests visualize the space and understand the scale of the bed. You can also include close-up shots of the bed itself, highlighting those luxurious linens and fluffy pillows.
Okay, so we've got a detailed description and great photos. What else can hosts do to manage guest expectations?
Think about your communication throughout the booking process. When a guest sends an inquiry, take the opportunity to reiterate the bed size and answer any questions they might have. This personal touch shows you care and sets the stage for a smooth stay.
And what about once the guest has arrived? Are there any tips for making sure they're happy with their sleep setup?
Absolutely. Leave a welcome note in the room, highlighting the features of the bed and bedding. You can even offer a choice of pillows, firm or soft, to cater to different preferences. It's these little touches that make guests feel truly pampered.
Those are some fantastic ideas. It really shows that you've thought of everything to ensure a comfortable stay.
And remember, feedback is invaluable. Encourage your guests to leave a review and specifically mention their experience with the bed and sleeping arrangements. This helps future guests know what to expect and allows you to continuously improve your offerings.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into bed-size strategies,
Mhm.
what's the key takeaway for our listeners?
It's this. While bed size matters, it's not the only factor that contributes to a five-star guest experience. Prioritize guest expectations, communicate clearly, and focus on creating a comfortable and inviting sleep environment. Do that, and you'll be well on your way to becoming a superhost.
That's great advice. Thanks for joining us today and sharing your expertise.
It was my pleasure.
And to all our listeners out there, happy hosting. We'll see you next time on the Airbnb Superhost Secrets podcast.